Welcome back to GG.Bet Ice Challenge here in London, England. This is a bit of an unexpected territory for us right now. The favorites, Na'Vi, getting shaped up for the major. In a week's time for them, they've got sort of a bit of a break before the round of 16. They were finalists in the last major. Best player in the world in simple, rated number 2 at the end of the year. They're facing elimination in a tournament which should be a walk in the park. No offense to the other teams, but should be a walk in the park for a team with that talent and that much skill.
Coming to this tournament, I was speculating they won't drop a map here. This is going to get them their confidence built up for the major. They're going to just go through this, not really drop a thing at all. Now they're one map away from coming dead last in the tournament, the lower bracket, and it's Dust2 next. Now, Dust2, it's an iconic Counter-Strike map. You'd assume these guys be lights out on it, it'll suit their play style, lots of talent here. But actually, no, we've actually seen them look quite poor on this map a few times now. I spoke to Simple Outsiders, how much practice you've been putting into Dust2. He said, we have been practicing it, but anything can happen on the day. They're playing really well, and I guess that is very true. These Avangar guys are very hungry to prove themselves. They don't get to go to as many tournaments as Na'Vi. They want to make the most of every opportunity, and all of their stars are shining right now. We've seen some great rounds from James, like we said, not just using the AWP. The AK is coming out in full force. Fitch, another great fragger. Watch out for him. Kickerts with that rifle as well. We didn't see as much accuracy as we expected from him, but they still got the win, and he can get into the next gear for this map. We'll see what happens here. And remember, we casted this back in Pro League. It was that B bomb site. They were very vulnerable to B splits. It seemed like almost every team when they played Dust2 were focusing on that area and trying to channel away from Simple, who couldn't do enough. Dust2 is not really one of those maps where you can move the AWP around everywhere. Sure, you can go towards B every now and then, but ideally you want to be holding around A bomb site towards long if they're focusing on middle so much.
And obviously the mid pick, but then that still favors the T's because they spawn in that position. So you're peeking in blind, essentially. You're trying to be aggressive against an angle that's held.
FPL, Simple can go for those picks. Sure. Against James, he's not going to go for that. It's not worth it on the CT side.
Yeah, it's not that there isn't options to play the op in different positions. One of the problems with Dust2 as well is the rotations of it.
Yes,
it's easily to get segregated. It's hard to get cut off. So you pretty much have to be Johnny on the spot in the right position. It does mean that a double op setup isn't necessarily out of the question for them. But you really got to look at, again, the depth of Na'Vi and who else is willing to tie up the shoes and really step up in this situation. So knife for sides, again, to determine who starts out where on Dust2. But yeah, Avangar is going to be in a beautiful position. North's already through to the final. Avangar would play Heroic tomorrow morning to determine who else would be in the final.
I still feel like, obviously, 3 maps is always going to be on the cards here. You can never discount Na'Vi, even if they do look a little bit out of their depth right now. It's going to be busted with a knife, and we talked about the gravitas of winning a knife round, and some of the other maps, Dust2, it's split the difference, really. Like, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you prefer. Most teams will pick CT, but it doesn't matter what side you start. It's not going to be a talking point at the end as to who wins. Maybe in a map like Nuke, if you start CT first, you win the pistol. That would be a selling point to say, oh, that we really needed that. We really built some momentum off that great start. But CT side of Dust2, doesn't really matter where you play. I'd like them to see boosting Simple around. I don't want to see him dropping AKs and going Deagle, no armor. I want to see him going lights out. He can still post huge numbers here, and he needs to. His teammates need him to be that beast, be the destroyer that he can be, and get them hopefully to that 3rd map.
And one team's strength in this series has certainly been the other's weakness. Mid-round calls and communication, you talked about that. Avangar looked pretty solid last map. We definitely saw them take advantage of picks and map control when it was given to them, when it was granted. On the other side of that, hesitation was constantly a problem for Na'Vi. If that happens again, they'll be in massively disadvantaged situation. CT side, that was where they got most of their rounds on overpass. Both pistols they actually won. That was a problem yesterday, and yet still came up shy in overtime. So they kind of need to win them again just to put themselves in another position of power, if you will, or an opportunity to win out this game on a map that's not certainly favorable to them. They'll start out hoping to do exactly that, hoping to build up the cash as quickly as possible. The GG.Bet odds 2.2 to 1.6. Remember when we started this series, it was Na'Vi 1-4. So pretty remarkable that this has already come back the other way, even at the start of the map when it's still 0-0. And Na'Vi will start out on the T side. It's Dust2. That's not the biggest issue, but it certainly puts them on the back foot because that has been their issue.
And we're off. Na'Vi with 1 smoke. That flashbang looks like a B split to me, Matt. Smoking CT spawn, flash through, try group up. And we'll see if they can capitalize upon Simple's PD50 armor combo once again. The smoke should be going towards spawn momentarily. Will be thrown by electronics, so it's a pretty usual lineup. You could just walk through the doors here and just throw a very last second, get right to the mouth of the CT spawn, then chuck it in, but you can see 3 players in that B bomb side for the CTs. They are ready for this. There's the smoke. I think there's a gap in there as well, to be honest. And we'll see James challenge first, a little bit of damage done towards Simple. And like you said, 3 players here, but they'll lose 1.
Keep in mind the difference this time. Zeus, good double for him. He's not normally contributing in these pistol rounds. Does get caught out though. They couldn't get Buster. He actually gets behind the box and he gets the bomb for it. Needs a headshot. Buster absolutely dismantling the offense. That's a massive problem. Simple, I was going to mention it. We saw him last time. He was selfless. He gave away the guns early on to try and boost his teammates. This time he has the armor, the P250. A bit more damage dealt from that weapon than the Glock, but he's got to recover the bomb and he's lost the information. I think he spotted Fitch on the cross. Now it's a heads-up duel. This won't come to plant. This will come to kill. And the range game does still favor the USP, so Fitch, he can try and play the angle, but he's got to be cheeky. He knows how clever Simple can be, and he's even trying to change the aim vertically by jumping up on the ledge, trying to get an advantage with the headshot over top of the box. He'll do exactly that again. And it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, but there's exactly what the USP potential holds. Headshot range, and Fitch wins it out for Avangar.
That shouldn't have been an Avangar round. They get a perfect entrance into that B-bomb site. They get mid-control. They smoke it out nicely. No one there in spawn to shut them down. First 2 kill in Na'Vi's favor. Like you said, Zeus picks them up. You'd think his teammates clear up at that point, but they didn't account for a third player at the back. Buster, I'd love to see that from his POV. That is a high-pressure situation. 2 kills, phenomenal. 3 kills, godlike. And the fact he gets the third and he's low HP in that position, that saves the round. 1v1 against Simple is no easy feat. Avangar are going to need every bit of luck they can get, but that was pure skill there. Great to see them really shine in those high-intensity situations. So, Viard is joining us. This is CSGO in the Octagon right now. This is a $50,000 prize pool tournament. We've got one of the best teams in the world in the former Na'Vi, very highly ranked in the world rankings, and an underdog of sorts, Avangar. Highly skilled unit, shouldn't be expected to really challenge Na'Vi as much as they are right now. They're currently a map up in this best of 3. If they can win out on their map pick, which is Dust2 right now, they will knock them out of the tournament, which will be an unprecedented upset.
Fitch is going to get aggressively boosted as well onto Catwalk. James already with the scout finding the headshot. Needs a headshot to be a single kill on that particular sniper rifle, so accuracy inbounds for him. But this is an interesting setup. With Fitch that close, if they can distract, if they can pull the aggro toward the double doors or catch them boosting up like this, so much aggression immediately. It's basically a little blender. They pitched them in, nowhere to run on the T side, nowhere to retreat, and the SMGs just go to work. There's absolutely nothing they could have done to dismantle that setup, trying to push out in the middle. And James, he'll go hunting. Zeus, the only one left yet again, does pick up a quick kill, adds a little bit of money to his bank, but no bomb plant yet again, meaning not really much available to Na'Vi.
And the fact they invested a little bit too much into that round. You need to go full eco to get AKs in the third. A few of them getting armor, deagles as well. They might be able to get 2 AKs and a few pistols, but that is setting themselves up for a very rocky road in this first half. They might want to consider just taking another partial buy here. They go for the all-in purchase. I can see the AWP on the CT side there. They've gone for it. It's actually better than I expected. They do get the 4 AKs. We can see Simple Edward, no utility whatsoever. Electronic now, nothing as well. Zeus just on the pistol, and the first pick, Flamey's trying to take the long spawn there, out-dueled by the UMP. That is a massive problem. Does that give up the AK to the CTs? It does. Charisma's got it, and Zeus was trying to recover. He's left with nothing. He has to stay on the pistol.
Interesting smoke glitch. It actually tried to extinguish on top of the flames, but detonated above them, so the flames stayed inside of the tunnels, and the vision was still available for Simple, but he was unable to get anything done with it. You are correct. An AK to the CT side is pretty impressive, and Simple just gets absolutely destroyed by Buster.
He's just trying to make anything happen. Simple, hoping he can get a kill in return, but that AUG and that sort of scenario where you're waiting for a peek, it looks like he's always going to win that duel. Now he's baiting in his teammate. You can see it will be actually Fitch in towards that cubby hole right there, and they've got 3 players in the B-bomb set. They're reading this so well.
But what's the plan for Na'Vi as well? Because you're down 2. You'd think you'd try and do something as a team, tactically.
Smoke spawn and go towards B, but there's 3 players waiting for them.
Well, and they spread out. They're still looking picks at 47 seconds. I mean, this is not what you'd expect from a tactical team such as Na'Vi.
There's the smoke. I think it's a ruse. They'll just go towards short and hope for the best. That's a nice shot from Zeus.
Dame does get spotted from short, tries to fire through the smoke, anticipating that with that pick they would be pushing middle, so Edge just bets to try and get a blind kill. Still on the ramp. Good position to be in. He can swing, he can control the angle, but he was unaware that Zeus hadn't entered yet, so he actually stepped out and gave himself up. This pulls it back to a 3-on-3. Despite that Zeus goes down, bomb a factor and can favor for Na'Vi because he's got the information early enough that they can set for Cat, and that's exactly what they're doing. Winning the battles on ramp, winning the up close exchange, and backing off to distance themselves from Kickert and stay on the bomb, but they've lost Edward. Electronic to do it all on his own. Actually got the advantage from the shadow, overstepped the mark on the shot, put him down to 4 HP. Makes his job much more difficult on the second kill, and it makes it life a little bit more easy for Fitch. who will clutch it back yet again for Avangar.
Impressive that Na'Vi even got close to bringing that round back. It was a 5 versus 3. It was Zeus that opened things up towards middle. Hit the second shot there, but then the mistakes started to come through. He pushes short by himself at that point, goes down for nothing. Wasn't flashed through, no trade potential there. Trying to get control of the short position. Might have been better off staying with his teammates. And eventually comes down to the 1 versus 1. And again, Avangar will come out on top. That defuse was successful. And with the bomb plant down and heading into the territory maximum loss bonus, there will be a buy available to them with the AKs. And remember, they didn't get the AWP out on overpass until the 13th round. Na'Vi on Simple. He's considered to be one of the strongest snipers in the entire game. And if you're getting it out on the 13th round, it suggests you haven't managed the old money too efficiently at that point. As they take a tactical timeout here, they know tournament life is on the line. They're 3-0 down on their opponent's map pick. And this could spell disaster. I'm not sure what happens. This isn't the be-all and end-all. This isn't a massive tournament for them, but still, it's preparation, right? They're trying to get themselves, blow off the cobwebs, well, get the rust off, ready for the major, and so far, it's doing anything but. It might actually destroy their confidence going into that big event.
That's a factor. I mean, you said it yesterday. If they'd recovered yesterday's game and actually came back to win it, they'd just say, hey, no harm, no foul. Brush it off.
Sure.
Bad start, whatever, get away with it. The fact that they lost it, that kind of goes under their skin. They've got to deal with that. If they lose out of this tournament, not only do they have to deal with it, but it is a big confidence issue considering they've hinted changes, considering everyone is chasing that #1 spot, which last year was completely locked out by Astralis all season long. We've already seen Liquid and Made in Brazil make changes to try and overcome that deficit to close the gap. Na'Vi might be the next to do so.
I've got a quiet line I want to drop when we've got a moment, but we'll wait until we have a chance. This action's just building up right now. It looks like it will be a long take here from the terrorists. You can smoke the long corners and segregate anyone that might be in the pit. James on the corner there. Will he get flashed off or smoked? We'll see. You do not want to dry peek this. Or that, really. That flash not effective at all. There's the smoke we're looking for, but unfortunately, they've already lost the player. So now what's the call? They've got 1 flashbang left, and it's a 5 versus 3. They just don't have the strategies on this map, from what I've seen in the last few months, to really have a chance of this one. But I'm ready to be proven wrong. Flamey is almost ready to do that as well.
And he has to. Simple looks shook right now. I mean, we can see the despair on his face. He's not pleased at all with the situation that Na'Vi finds themselves in. And he missed a shot that was pretty uncharacteristic towards short of him. Pretty silent in this game. Buster found him in tunnels at B as well, looking rather unexpectedly toward him. Quite easily dismantled with the AUG. So Flamey pulls the round back. 3 kills for him. Zeus contributes with 1 further, and they find themselves against James. Capable enough on the AWP, has a kit as well.
He's done
so even if the bomb plant goes in, you can work toward it, but you're right. 23 seconds, unaware Zeus has already lurked all the way through the site, clears the angles, and finds him in mid.
Well, a 5-on-3 converted, and that's some star power right there. Na'Vi, one thing they will always have, they don't have those really diverse strategies. They've certainly got firepower. Flamey had to dig real deep there to even make that round a possibility. He gets 2 quick kills towards shore when it felt like it was all falling apart, but finally some success there. As you can see, the odds coming through. Avangar still the favorites. Odds provided by GG.Bet, of course. And there's a scout. They're actually taking a full investment here. Simple hits the shot on James, but a chance for them to get themselves back into this round by round. That's actually quite significant. They won the previous.
Edward already inside Long Cave, doesn't want to take the fight. Utility not in position to try and deter the CTs. Rather, they want to leave them there with pistols, but not overcommit at the same time. They can work the map elsewhere, and they start to do so toward middle. In fact, they'll discern the fact that this is a boost, or excuse me, a stack, I should say. All not only on the kill from Edward, but the fact that they've pushed out mid and made contact on B without any opposition. They should slowly go back in that direction, and in doing so, pretty much give themselves a free round. It's worth the gamble. You don't have much to work with at all. Get everyone on one side.
Yeah.
A-long is pretty much the most contested position consistently on this map, and it's the earliest point of contention too.
It's one of the few maps we would say is very spawn dependent, and if you can get long control, that's actually a massive part of the map to control. I don't think this scout will be finding a round victory, but maybe he can get a couple of kills. We will see. There's the first. Looking for another one now. Simple should be able to take him down. Misses that shot narrowly, but he makes up for it with the Glock of all weapons. So there we go. At range, it will be 2 in a row and presumably 3 for Na'Vi, because that's the money completely broken now on the Avangar side. No celebrations will be coming in too soon. Na'Vi, they've got a lot of work here to do. So this is our final best of 3 of the day. Coming out to about 5 p.m. in the UK here at the ICE conference. playing inside the octagon, something a little bit different. We had the Scandinavian duel earlier. Now it's the battle of the CIS region. Tickert will bring out a Zeus. That's the taser and his utility belt. That sometimes can be a one-shot kill. Most of the time it's not. And there's an opening picket and no trades again. That really is a bit of a headline for this Na'Vi squad. They've lost a player there, but hopefully I think that was just maybe an SMG that went down. Not a huge deal. As the Molotov comes through, Fitch will burn. Oh, he does get the AK, and that's actually quite surprising. They've lost an AK of no real response.
Committed himself to get that gun, though, didn't he? Took substantial damage in the flames just to get it. I suppose you could justify it with the damage potential that it has. The Zeus nearly gets one flamey looking sharp this game, certainly, as he finds 3 kills. I will say, you can call out the statistics of Na'Vi in recent history, but if you go back to even the rivalry when Brazilians were still known as Luminosity, he was a solid Dust2 player, so he's certainly stepping up and showing that specialism. Now as Simple comes alive with the AWP to find Buster, and it's another round for Na'Vi. We tie ourselves on 3. The gun deficit will be addressed this time. 2 saves, finally they'll get that 3rd round bonus, so an additional $2,400 injected into the cash deposit for the CTs. You can already see M4's brought out on the side of Fitch's screen. That op has a perfect mid spawn.
Let's see what happens here. Simple looking for anyone crossing over. Spams the smoke a little bit too early. 3 players in the mid area /B once again. But this is going to be a fast little play up towards short. The smoke down towards Xbox. And who better to crack open the A side than Mr. Electronic. Prism will be waiting there with the AUG. No scope required. Takes Flamey down, who's been a thorn in their side so far. And again, Map, there's just no reaction to it. We talk about the fundamentals of CS. You've got to pounce on that, surely. He's just surely got the information. He's in the open, spraying me down. He's going back to the bomb side. You don't want to try and trade that, at least gamble it. You've let him get away, and now it's you on the back foot again. This Dust2 is that's where they really seem to struggle with that part of the game. Electronic there on the steps now. Kristen doesn't seem to be aware of it.
Yeah, they found the first pick, but they didn't actually spot Electronic's head sneaking by the stairwell.
Oh, this could cost them.
And deep smoke, they're going to think this is wide open. I highly, highly doubt Kristen. Oh, he might check it, spot it anyway. Spawn him in the peripheral, but too late at that point in time. Now he's got a bit of an awkward exchange, though, Electronic, because he's got to keep himself alive. James on the op, smart decision. Give up on that battle, and be aware that if they're holding Cat, you usually do that in tandem with a take from long, so look that direction instead. As a result, though, Electronic wisely backs off, knowing that his job done directly in front. He'll cover off rotations, but an awkward battle, and Fitch, he clears that position. So all 3 from long, gap in the smoke, and a fast off shot from James shuts down one already. Buster can push this smoke, no flash. It will come now. As soon as that flash goes in, he's got the confidence to push through, deny the plant. An awkward situation for Na'Vi. Buster's gonna close it. Brilliantly done on that secondary flash to hold in that smoke as well.
Great shots from James there. You can see that long crossover is so infamous. You really do need decent smokes there. You can do one perfectly at the top of the crossover like that, but ideally you want to be smoking deep in CT spawn just to eradicate all of that risk and flash the well area. But Na'Vi trying to cross, he saw that gap, and all players like James, an incredibly difficult shot to be fair, but he will nail those as we get into this spawn-based gameplay. We know Flame is looking sharp right now. No real method behind the madness. You get a good long spawn, you just take it, you get the AWP out, flash goes over, he'll take the shot regardless and have to fall back and presumably give the AWP back to Simple. If he's not there, he'll happily hold on to it because he is the secondary AWP of the squad, and Simple's already got his own objective towards middle.
Outside of the mid doors is fine, but can't commit too far because of exactly this. Once you go beyond the edge of that wall, you become susceptible to a player in B, and importantly, it's Buster on the AWP. So we talked about double op potential as well on the CT side. Put them on both approaches on either bomb site. I like the swing. The box position's obviously super powerful in B, but it doesn't give you enough to cover off middle early in the round. So Buster's position's actually pretty sharp, considering they've got 2 actually in B aside from him. And it's going to actually come to matter because smoke already down CT. He's a bit early to fire. Now they know he's in the window, but they actually continue to walk out. He needs to hit that. That's a problem. Molotov down. He's forced off the angle. Simple's already found kicker. Good response from Fitch to at least control the tunnel. That buys Buster space that he ultimately didn't have, but Zeus, too telegraphed. Gun barrel shows, easy shot. Fitch actually beats him to it, but bomb down inside of the window, and Na'Vi left with very little to work with after what started like a good execution and 2 gifted misses that would have allowed them to rush the ramp.
They can still bring this round come back, though. It's not a foregone conclusion. Here's Electronic looking for the double kill. There it is. Now he's got to go above and beyond here. He will have time to get the bomb planted. He's aware of that. Chrism with the incendiary should make things uncomfortable for him, but that's only at the tunnel mouth. As he's planting the bomb, I'm surprised, as now are they going together? So Electronics aware there's a player towards tunnels. They want to group up and make this one-on-two situation instead of two solo interactions. So have they got any flashes? They haven't. They're just going to try and use stealth here and apparently a USP to enter through the window.
Exactly that. James got to go aggressively because he has the op. He can't actually spray down and trade it off. It needs to be the second, but look at Electronic go. Fast reactions. And he absolutely shuts down Chrism. 4 kills. The one at Closet was a tough one to find as well, but that fourth was spectacular, and Navi gets away with it.
The star power, that's what we need to see. We know that Dust2 doesn't seem tactically sound, but the players available to them, Electronic and Flamey, looking stunning right now. Not relying on Simple here. Those guys going above and beyond. As soon as I saw that fall into Electronic's position, it just felt like he could do something with it, and very well read. And the fact that they both go window, I'm not a huge fan of that, especially the USP. At least bait him a door and then swing out the window together instead of giving him that nice little lineup to spray both down. Full eco for Avangar. Round 9, haven't invested anything.
Third eco they've had to go to already as well.
Yep.
And that's after winning pistol. So they're not getting much done on this CT side. Flamey, great positioning. Interesting push. We saw the stack on A the last time they had all pistols. This time they gambled to go towards B. Good Molotov as well, because no matter what, if they chase them, they're going to take damage, and without the armor, the flames will just burn through them quite quickly. They lose Flamey in the end, but they already have enough information to play off of this. They know there's one more there. Might as well chase him down, even if he's got a teammate. They've got the guns. They know he's actually over toward A, but that's going to open up B and round done at this point in time. So Navi finally going to claw their way back into the lead. I should say into the lead, not back in. Surprisingly, they've not really had any leads in this series.
That is a very good point. Apart from the opening sectors of Overpass, I guess, when they had the 4-1 lead, that was looking very good. We're like, okay, this is the Navi we wanted to see. And then crashed out in overtime. A lot of pressure on their side of the server here. Zeus will spot the final player towards short, and Edward will convert the kill. They have got the lead here. On the T side of Dust2, it was looking very bleak, but you have to remember this performance here. As soon as he gets that second kill, it's looking good. And potentially that was misplayed, I would say, the CTs. Maybe could have actually pincered him. They had the setup towards tunnel. They know they've got that aggro, gone in at the same time and really made it uncomfortable. They choose the tightest choke point possible and go in together with USP and the rifle. Could have worked out for them, but didn't look ideal to me. As we get into round 10, all power for Simple, and he'll get himself not on the suicide box, will actually be pushing towards top of middle, ready for any short aggression.
Amy waits, smoke down, anticipating perhaps another push through, but unlikely as it may be, it's worth to hold the angle just in case. Need to be caught off by something so simple. Speaking of simple, I think I saw the last round, he was only at 6 kills, and I say only, because that meant, actually, excuse me, 4 kills, 6 deaths. That means Zeus on 11 has more, Flamey and Edward have more, and Electronic has more. He's at the bottom right now for Navi, which is oddly, I think, a good thing in some ways. We're so used to seeing him be solo at the top with not much support. The fact that they're still in this game, and in fact in the lead with him at the bottom, is actually very encouraging.
And he still has the opportunity to come online and actually get them through some difficult situations. So yes, you're absolutely right. I'd say that is a positive considering what we've seen so far. And it will be the B split. Mainly a focus towards the B tunnels, but once again, Avangar have 3 players here. Kicker that has the smoke, and he is in the B bomb side. If he smokes tunnels now, he will sabotage their efforts. He's looking out for the B split though. As Electronic sits towards spawn, they will get the rifles out here. First shot comes in from Zeus, but Buster facing in his teammate here. Bitch has to commit at this point, trying to spray and get the damage in there. He does a good job, but still a 3 versus 2. Buster's there. Dink comes in, watching towards the window, can't get the kill. And Jane, he's so far removed from this situation. The AWP on the crossover, well, I should say CD spawn, is not going to be viable. He can't really go for this one. Needs to save the sniper rifle. Good setup there from Avangar. They read it well. They had the players there, but good entry shots and nice trading. Something we haven't said about Navi for a few
that's been a
weeks,
massive issue. It's certainly in this event has been an issue with them. And you consider that's with 2 overpasses played. 2 series in which that was the opening map, and that is Trade Central. Overpass CT side is Trade Central. So if that's been a problem for them, you can understand why they haven't had the success that we would have expected. James wants to save the AWP, only $150 residual for him, and not much better off. Buster's the high roller, he's only got 600, so this has to be carried over if they want any firepower in the next round to go against Na'Vi, as Simple will grab the back up on his side. He looks a little more relaxed, despite that his performance isn't resounding at this point. They are in the lead, and that's ultimately what he wants. I think he was quite actually vocal about the fact that even when he won MVPs, you know, he wanted to win more events with his team. When he was named the #1 player of 2018, obviously yesterday surpassing the highest rating of all time on HLTV, but he's quite adamant that that means little if they can't win events.
Yeah, I can imagine his frustrations here. And the next year will be very telling, I think after the major especially, as to where his future lies. Interesting thing I mentioned yesterday, I feel like after this major, we could have some of the most significant roster changes of CSGO history. It feels like there's so many ongoing storylines and struggles right now, and a lot of money going around these big organizations. But either way, the B split making its way towards the bomb site right now. James is there, but nice shot to kick things off for the split. We'll let him down, and that's the orb given away, and I'm sure they'll pick that one up and just guarantee victory here as they hold off towards middle. Edward can watch the doors. Someone needs to keep an eye on Spawn. There is a player there in the form of Fitch. Luckily, he doesn't find the 1D, but Buster will follow things up, and this could become a little bit dangerous now. Edward needs to be very careful with 11 HP.
And that would be 2 guns down in mid, and without any investment, you'd certainly consider going for the retake. Even if you're unsuccessful, you're going to make it expensive on the tees, and that has to be the goal. Already Zeus trying to get the op out of position, grabs an AK. In doing so, it's further back toward the tunnel, so the bomb would actually, when it detonates, blast that further from the CT position. So it's all about keeping money in the best possible position for Na'Vi at this point in time. Electronic all the way back. They themselves just trying to build up a bit of a bank. Zeus gets the op and gets away. That'll go back to Simple's hands immediately. Oof. He doesn't look too pleased, actually. I thought he looked a little more relaxed last round, but he's still a bit frustrated with himself this game.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out if that's individual frustration or maybe...
That's the question, because oftentimes when we see it, it's when he's playing lights out and he's frustrated with the team for not being there with him. This time it's kind of the opposite. But maybe there's some communicational issues that's hindering them slightly. He'll go back to the mid pick. Yet to find one of those mid picks. They're becoming a little harder to get these days. Everyone knows the lineups and where to run. Double Molotov. Edwards forced in. He has to go, and he's going to burn alive. Gets one of the flames, but he'll go down. Nothing he could do about it.
What?
That's a triple? No way. Gets through his teammate, kills Krisen and Fitch. That's ridiculous from Simple. We have to see a replay of that. That's insane. Even Edward and Flamey can't believe what just happened in chat right now. That's unreal. It was basically 3 players killed. Unfortunately, one his teammate.
Yeah,
but that's insane to win back long in that circumstance.
I haven't seen anything like that before. A triple kill with a team killing there before. That's kind of insane. They're all baffled on the server right now, asking what just happened. As it will be the advantage for Na'Vi, but a strange round there. James and Kicker can still bring this one back, especially this young man here. Oh my goodness, what a shot. Does he push these flames? If he does, he's brave. Almost worked out for him. Can you imagine if he hits that blind? And 1 minute remaining, his teammate will have to do most of the heavy lifting now, considering he's low HP. There is an incendiary available and a smoke apparently. That will allow him access. Hasn't gone quite deep enough. That's actually limited him. That hasn't helped at all, as you can see. Had to go like just half a meter deeper.
Yeah, typically that's bounced further to the right as well, so you can isolate the back platform and not worry about the boxes. He did nothing. He came through gray screen. That's easy for Simple to hit that shot. 4 kills in the round, 3 that count, if you will.
Yeah.
3 that have impact against the other team, and James again has to save this AWP as they start to build up the loss bonus, but this will be round number 8 for Na'Vi on the T side.
He actually, because it removes one, right? And so there's 4 people dead on that side, so he's actually, oh no, Edward got one as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
right.
I
thought it would remove one
the
for
old
him.
school, scoreboard. Sure. No, on the HUD it actually is correct.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well there you go. 3 kills, and indeed, one of them is teammates. But if they win the round, you cannot be mad at that. And he gets double kill from it as well. Absolutely fantastic. I would love to see him in his POV. I assume he's blind at that point. They're so chaotic. It looked like they were going for a flash over, peek together sort of mentality. He pulls a trigger. Everyone's in front of him, and they all eat lead. We'll see what happens as Avangar take a timeout. At this point, they were flying high on Dust2. This is their map pick. But you have to say, Matt, it's not so much down to, wow, great strategies here, great executions. Na'Vi actually looking like world-class players at this point, getting themselves out of desperate situations over and over again. Like you said, Zeus with some great impact frags. Flamey, amazing work to actually get double kills in 5-on-3s. Electronic 4-on-2 plays in towards our B bomb site. Been lots of individual brilliance, but that can only get you so far. to be fair, in this map so far, it's actually got them in the lead, and they're consistently providing those sort of results. So we'll see if they can keep it up.
Just a note as well, a lot of passers-by new to Counter-Strike. The reason you have sort of a headset over top of the in-ears, the sound from the game actually comes from the in-ears. The headset over top is noise canceling, so that they can't get cues, audible cues from each other. In this case, typically you're not sat face-to-face in these events, in these environments. Oftentimes you're in soundproof booths or on stages, but also that they can't hear us, and us giving away positions.
And they put the divider up in the middle as well, so you can't see the faces of your position. The flashbang doesn't show up on the screen. A flashbang will make your screen completely white, essentially making you go blind. And they're obviously so bright, it will illuminate the face of your opposition. So they put that big divider there, not just to give you some modesty, to make sure that there's no kind of foul play going on.
Gear is everything. A lot of big sponsorship behind these teams in terms of just peripheral gear, the keyboards, mice, headsets.
Yeah, it's like
chairs.
It's like the sports equipment, right? It's like a football player's boots and
people
everything
are
like that.
Super particular about feel about it as well. I mean,
Sure.
there's players that have switched organizations and therefore had to switch mice based on sponsors and taken a long time to adjust.
Indeed.
Fitch, yeah, on the site. This is going to be interesting because Krizen can bait him in. They're not going to know he's there, but Utility can move that position quite quickly.
Will we see a full execution here? There's one smoke there. We haven't seen a classic wall of smokes towards A from this team at all. It's been quite basic, I would say.
That's the okay, so they actually went for ramp. They didn't bounce. If they platform Molotov, Fitch is out of position at that point in time. The fact that he's still there and Krizen gets the first kill, Fitch could change this whole round. Krizen's down, but they still are unaware. He sits on the site. Zeus underneath. Now they're going to find out. Bomb goes down, Fitch peeks up, and it's Jane that's waiting as all the attention gets drawn back his direction, and Fitch wins it cleanly. They had no idea he was there. A single Molotov on platform? That doesn't happen.
15 seconds, nice shot from Flamey, but not enough time to win the round. He has no bomb. So that was the execution from Na'Vi. I wasn't expecting it to be that technical, actually. A couple of nice Molotovs there, but you saw them extinguish quickly, and then baiting in that player on the bomb side. They seem to have a nice little stack wherever Na'Vi go. Jame hitting the crucial shots there as well, and Fitch with a couple of frags. There he is on the end. Even got his own branded hat there. All about the brand. These guys are considered professional athletes. They have reputations.
P1 visas.
Sorry?
P1 visas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that as official as it gets?
Yes, yes. Special talents and salary players with their own sponsorship deals. You can see huge brands around them, their online presence. Players like Simple and Fallen actually were rivaling the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo for social media presence in 2018. Now, that's pretty
Neymar is like a huge fan of the Brazilian team. Flamey back out again at long, going aggressively from Na'Vi. They get that corner smoke. He's able to actually contest without anyone rivaling it or any, this time, Molotovs in his way. So he'll hold at this position. They'll anchor long. Once they get that map control, similar to what you see on Banana and Inferno, you can start to establish a bit of an execution around that, start to probe out middle, push them back. But again, Avangar, similar to what we saw on round 2 with the SMGs, are going to play Fitch with the fast boost on Cat and 2 outside the door. And that's a crossfire that actually is very, very hard to pull apart because there's coverage available to the CTs, and they wait for the first engagement to be done by Na'Vi, as it is here. Kickert actually wins that duel without the need for a second peek, and as soon as Zeus is spotted, Fitch can actually get more aggressive if he wanted to, and look over the wall to take him down. That's close through the door.
He's so unlucky not to get a kill out of that one. Perfectly placed wallbang there. Initial damage as well. Grenades coming through. It is a man advantage, but doesn't mean too much when you've got 2 players on sub 20 HP. Good smoke, though. Fitch buys some time towards shore. Edward surely doesn't push this. That would have been an absolute suicide by Kicker. Pushing towards that lower B area. Can't connect the dots to get the double kill, but still maintains the advantage. He gets Edward down to 1 HP. Very unlucky, but right now, it still looks like they'll win the round, considering the time remaining. Fitch, confident as ever, gets the bomb. And with 25 seconds there, Edward on 1 HP, he has no choice but to save. And that's the money actually going in a really horrible position for Na'Vi.
Yeah, no bomb plant on it as well. It's only going to be the $1,400.
And most of the criticism we had from the last outing they had on Dust2 was the CT side. So they needed to post as many rounds as they could. And there's a triple AWP setup right now. Actually,
don't think they're going to carry that over. I suspect they'll look for another AK.
It's round 15 next.
Oh, you're right.
So I would say they might as well, and just leave a rifle and spawn.
It's possible. The simple fact of the AK, right? If they can get one, you're not likely to use the triple up. But I suppose if you want to gun juggle and get them in position, sure.
I don't know. Dust2 is one of the few maps I would say, you know what, why not? Let's give it a go. You've got 3 main choke points, long, middle, B, and if you keep a rifle in CT spawn, the rotation, you just grab that on your way through as an AUG, for example, then it's not the worst idea in the world. But yes, AK's certainly worth the weight in gold as well. One of the few guns that has the one tap. Headshot potential. Na'Vi tactical pause. We're going to the final round here. We know their money is pretty poor. I don't think they can get the AWP. I've got the same information as you guys at home, so I can't track that for you right now. I don't think their money's going to be that level. We'll have a look as they prepare themselves. Decent half, all things considered, what we've seen from them this tournament so far. It's not their map pick, and they're in the lead. But like we said, Dust2 is a very equal map in terms of CT versus Ts. It's not like they've done a great job here. It's not like they've got 8 rounds on the T side of Nuke, for example. That would be something to get really excited about.
Yeah, this is pretty par for the course.
So a couple of rifles, and indeed they get the two AWPs here, so they don't take the third over, but Buster showing us what he's capable of with that secondary AWP. The AK is found by Fitch, and now they've got the advantage. Fall back to those defensive line, get those bomb site stacks set up. You can let them have middle as long as you're watching it from the window area.
It's pretty aggressive to push the doors with an AWP CT side when you know typically there's going to be an AWP at the top side of mid, but reading the economy well, they took advantage of it. That's
a calculated risk, we'd call it, right? The fact you've kind of made a decision, they probably don't have the AWP, they might do, but you're going to take a gamble and go for it, and it works out.
Crimson out toward long, still waiting, not making contact. They've got the advantage, so there's no need for him to actually face the angle, to risk the potential of an AK coming around and finding that entry headshot. He'll sit back and play what you described last game, the off angle, and try and surprise them, if you will, when they walk around. Fitch again on the A site, this time not being baited in on the boxes, but straight up playing the headshot angle on the ramp. Finds one already, resets his aim. It took him a while, but Simple blinded. He makes short work of it on the second peek, and Kicker will help him close it out. So 8-7 is exactly where we land. As close as you'd like, but still pressure on Na'Vi. Remember, they're down the map in this series, so Avangar still in a pretty good spot to wrap this up and book a date tomorrow with Heroic.
Oh, this would be a crushing defeat for Na'Vi if this slips away from them. The veto didn't go well. That's why we kind of really made a point of overpass had to be theirs. It's their pick. They brought it back from 15-10 to overtime. You think, okay, they're going to do it now. When they lose that one, I really was worried for their prospects on the CT side of Dust2. T side, that was fine. They actually had some pretty nice executions. They had some great individual plays. Not the best T side I've seen, but it was enough. This the CT side I'm worried about. That B bomb site. It was an absolute nightmare last time we saw it. It seemed to get punished over and over again. Have they made changes here? It was Zeus and Edward, I believe, playing the B side of the map last time we watched, and I would assume they probably mixed things up a little bit or made themselves a bit more dynamic with some little set pieces you can do, move the AWP around a bit more, check towards lower B a little bit, and I would say Na'Vi really won this pistol just to kind of get ahead in the game and hopefully take us to that third map. Diffuse kit and flashbangs available for Zeus, and just one smoke and a couple of flashbangs. The B splits are so prevalent in these pistol rounds that you might see that straight away. Simple, the star gets headshot but delivers one right back to the face of Fitch.
That's commitment. When you've already taken that much damage on an angle that actually is difficult to sort and can easily be peeked, counter-peeked from Cat. It's commitment. He gets one, gets away. Oh, the flash! He lines up 2 more. Gap and the smoke bomb down inside of it. Massive drama now for Crimson as he finds himself in a 1 versus 4, and Simple stays alive. Flamey adds the final kill. It's Na'Vi with a third pistol in the series. First of this game. They did fall shy in a 1-on-1 last time around.
Well, there we have it. Will there be any sort of buy here from the T side? I would doubt it. They know they can get the AKs out in the third round, and we'll see what happens there. There's the GG.Bet odds coming in. Avangar, still the underdogs here. This is on a map-by-map basis. We have another map to go over now. We pick this one up. You can see they're the favorites right now, provided usually by our esports bookmaker, and this very standard self, Jane, with a fantastic shot. So they did not force buy here. They get a scout only with P250s, no armor. I am very surprised at that. Jane has got to be incredibly confident in his own ability to make that sort of purchase here, but he takes down Simple to kick things off. Pretty remarkable. But Electronic surely gets this kill, but that was his chance, and now he might have to fall back.
Flashed off the angle, he certainly will. He's got to be loving the fact that he found the opening pick as well. Maybe even regretting that they didn't buy around it, given that they found a slight advantage to work with. Fitch will rotate back. This will be a long take. All 5 players gathering inside of the cave to work them into position. No one up close. Hogs have to play from range. The double position on Cat now realizing that there's no aggression. They'll fall back and be on the A site, but it's a very passive defense. In fact, they're doubting the A presence altogether. This is going to be 3 players from Na'Vi rotating over. This could fall apart. You isolate the single player on the A site right now. You take that gun away from Electronic, put it in the hands of Avangar with a bomb down. That's a difficult retake.
Electronic needs to be very careful here. If he gets scouted, Right in the head. That's the only way he'll go down at this point. It could all fall apart. Electronic needs multiple frags here. Delivers that so far. Can he get the third? Great shot. Zeus now will try and do his best. Tags hitting though with the scout. This isn't over just yet. Maybe it is now. That's fantastic from Zeus. It's going to be the AUG and the smoke. If that smoke lands efficiently, oh my god, the shot's even better.
They wouldn't have expected him to peek on that. They're thinking that smoke is entirely defensive, but in a 1-on-3, no armor. He had to go aggressive, and he did. He caught them out. No kit. He's got Edward down. This is going to be a round stolen. Kickard, he's put himself in a beautiful position. He'll play it on quad as well. He controls the peak. All he has to do is play time. Zeus has a full 10-second defuse, but he goes for the early peak. I'm surprised he made that decision. I thought he would draw Zeus away from the bomb.
I'm speechless at that one, Matt. The fact he gets that close in the 10-second defuse, if he just hit quad there, not challenged.
2 seconds, that's all he needed.
It was fine, but yeah, he's trying to make the unexpected play, but the thing is, Zeus already knew he hadn't rotated the short. He'd have had to run in that position, he would have heard it, so he can pretty much guess that he's going to be towards quad, or some people call it Gandalf these days, and it will be an amazing attempt there from Avangar. They're going to buy this round. Remember, that's full eco, essentially. They get the bomb down there and actually get it down to a 1v1, so sure, they don't win the round, but that is substantial. If they can pick this one up with a really poor buy from Na'Vi, they're right back in this game. They could tie things up.
Flash out, Cruisin trying to contest AK. Good movement.
That's the sort of long take you want to see. That's not just one flash out. They've got the smoke on the corner. They've got backup flashes. It's all timed. That's a really nice way to do it. You don't really risk too much there.
Backs away after they establish position. It's Kicker that will watch out on middle. So 2 committed inside of long A. Suggestive that the final destination perhaps is the A site. That's not guaranteed if they can find a pick over toward B, and I feel like they almost need to put a little bit more toward mid right now to get information, but they're electing not to. In fact, they're going to back off on A. I'm very surprised by that. If you're going to establish it without any information, you're kind of gambling on this. At least evaluate mid. At a minute, you've still got a lot to work with. Don't know that Simple's angle lends itself. Yeah, they wouldn't have seen him. They kept their heads down, so that rotation back over to B has not been spotted.
This has been a fantastic map of Counter-Strike so far. Lots of drama, lots of high-octane plays. This one could be no different. Fantastic grenade. Doesn't do as much as I thought, and Edward now with the UMP. Remember, he is hamstrung with that weapon. Gets one, but won't be able to find a second. Simple needs to hit that shot. Will he get it on the repeat? Definitely not. This battle between him and James has been absolutely spectacular to watch. Locking horns with a sniper rifle, and now it will be Avangar with the advantage here. No kits. Remember, this was a difficult buy. I would be calling the save if I'm Na'Vi at this point, to be honest. 1 smoke available, no kits, and a 4-on-3. Maybe just get the AWP and get out of there.
Flamey's getting annoyed. He's trying to click E on that AWP, but it's stuck in a weird way in which it won't allow him, so he has to commit.
Wins.
He's dropping the gun just to grab it. He tried about 4 times and still got away with that kill. So the quick swap actually failed him, and yet found, did James spot? I think he did. He saw just enough of him as he crouched in behind the car. He wants to get one further kill, again, hindering the economy of Na'Vi, forcing the reinvestment, and smartly catches out Electronic transitioning back.
Yeah, this guy's got potential. What we've seen this week, we were aware he was a decent player, but he seemed like he's evolved. If he is in-game leading as well, I don't know that much about this squad. If he sat in the middle in-game leading on this level as well, that's remarkable.
And the lack of in-game leadership generally within the top echelon. There's lots of guys capable. There's lots of guys who have in-game led but also can't frag. That opens up a window of opportunity in his career.
And that's me talking about things I have no idea about. I actually don't know if he's the in-game leader.
You do that a lot, Henry.
But I'm going on the old system. If you sit in the middle, you're the in-game leader. That's what I'm going on, but FaZe don't subscribe to that, so there's no reason why Avangar would either.
Do FaZe subscribe to any in-game leadership?
It is Nico officially, I think, now, but he likes to sit on the end. When they first changed it, they didn't want to make a massive point about it, if you remember, and just kept the formation, left Carrigan in the middle. So I think he just sits there naturally as he wants to stay next to whoever he was next to before. But either way, we're impressed by James, is the headline we're trying to get out there, and it will be Na'Vi on the tactical pause. That is a big round for them to give away, but they did save some weaponry, one of which was the powerful sniper rifle, especially on a map like Dust2, the AWP brought over. Who will be wielding it is the big man Simple, but this is the quietest game we've seen from him all tournament. 9 frags to his name. We're round number 19. He's yet to break double digits on the map that could cost him everything.
Fitch, considering the fact that a short push isn't unlikely at this point, considering that they won't have maximum weapons. The Pistols want to try and close the gap. That's one position to do it. Electronic, he's got that idea. Different approach, though. He'll play more passively on the ledge. Architect of the drop, meaning that he can get the shot as soon as he fires or is challenged, drops off the ledge, instantly reset down at CT spawn, and he's no longer in the harm's way. So trying to get one for free and get away.
This is such a massive moment of this series. This round could decide the fate of Na'Vi. If they can somehow make this one work, they'll be back on track. They'll have a decent lead. They'll have Simple on an orb. But this falls apart. The ecos will have to come through. Avangar will tie things up on their map pick, and we know the CT side generally for Na'Vi can be a little troublesome. Smokes through, flashbangs committed. All the Molotov make it all the way. They've got a nice lineup there. This is what you call an execution map. This is detailed, and Zeus will be feeling the brunt of it. He's not in the flames right now, but he is right in the coffin as he gets taken down. Fitch and Electronic finding headshots here, but it's Electronic to find the man advantage. Not for long, 30 seconds remain, and James focused towards long. He knows the player's there.
Yeah, a bit of an overcommitment from Electronic. Found 2 and didn't quite catch the fact that 2 had slung wide on his peak. James didn't hit the shot, but you're right, they had the awareness and they'll swing. Kicker takes down Edward, bomb planted. Advantage to Avangar, trying to close this to just 1 round, but Flamey has other ideas. Finally found by Buster, it brings it to Simple. Simple without a kit, but with an AWP, and unexpectedly arriving from short, he'll clutch back the round, and Na'Vi stick to 11.
Oh my goodness, I'm surprised the Buster was in that sort of compromised position. Surely he's still on the bomb side, you think he's coming towards long, but either way, he had to take a gamble. Simple comes up and actually gets gifted quite the easy shot towards the end there, but still, it's all down the Flamey. That FAMAS work, that's everything there. It looked like Avangar had done enough with their picks to getting themselves on towards the A side. Simple rotating without the kit or utility. Luckily for him, finds the nice open kill, finds his 10th round there on the board. And we continue to push Na'Vi in the lead. We have got a tactical timeout here. Looks a little bit heated there in the back. Maybe it's a technical. We'll see. I think we're fine.
Could have been an issue. Again, coaches are muted during live play, but they get unmuted in the timeout if they were slow to do so. I noticed that Kane, Zeus, and Flamey took off the headsets. Maybe they were just trying to speed up that process communication if they didn't unmute him.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, that's probably exactly what it was. Like, they can't hear each other. They just want to let each other know. So now they can't hear him. I think they're just trying to sort that.
Excuse me.
It's okay. Perfectly natural.
Yeah, normal, exactly. I was going to say my favorite moment was sound issues. If you remember back to the MLG qualifiers for Columbus, way back.
Oh, God, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, Virtus Pro versus G2, and the communications program actually crashed. So rather than making a drama out of it, it crashed for both teams. Rather than stopping play, rather than being limited by that, they just started screaming at each other in Polish, which couldn't be deciphered by the opponent, and
that was
made it work.
First major together, I believe. And we were up there in the crow's nest casting position. We could see everything going on when it's like, hold on, are they just screaming over the noise-canceling headsets and trying to provide information? That was a really
that's the other
moment.
aspect of it. They're not allowed to remove the headset. They can't do it. So they were literally just yelling as loud as they could.
That's a really cool moment. I'm not sure if that's even on YouTube. I'm not sure if it was captured live in terms of what they were doing in studio, but still a great moment in CS history as we get into round 20. Avangar not yielding just yet. They want to actually pick up a deagle in the hands of Fitch. The rest of them with AKs, but you can see a distinct lack of utility there. They're going to go for a contact B play. A lot of teams will do this. They hopefully don't take dinks like that from Flamey. He doesn't get the kill, but will he be dropped here? He's certainly not going to be. But this is the play. They have to push in on this. Even though they're taking damage and Flamey's on for his second kill, they have to try and trade this out. There's still a slight chance, but maybe not anymore. It's looking so good for Na'Vi, and Flamey just keeps finding kills. 3-on-2. Do they keep challenging here? Smoke down. They do indeed. This actually might still fall apart. Here he comes. Simple. Missing shots now, Matt. He picks up the AUG, and maybe that's where he'll find more success.
That's a shot you'd expect him to hit all day, especially where he was gifted the access to the site they weren't expecting his arrival. And now Zeus might have the chance to pull it back. Line up with a UMP at range. They had no idea he was so close inside of the tunnels. You can see Simple pleased that they won it, but aware they got away with it to do so.
Absolutely. The fact that they kill Simple outside, I would assume they just book it towards A and just get out of there, confirming that's clear. But Zeus, with all the weapons, it's the UMP out of the tunnels, and luckily they're around 40 HP each, and that's the perfect weapon just to nibble away at that HP. As they buy again, this could be the unraveling now of Avangar. They know the money's low on Na'Vi, but to win these sort of rounds, something quite special has to happen. James could be the man to deliver the brutal headshots here with the scout. But this is not looking good. Like, in terms of the overall composition of the setup, Tech9's some basic utility in a scout up against those AUGs. I know what they're doing. They can break the money if this round works out for them, but what is the play to make it happen?
Flamey close to the smoke. Incendiary down on the other side. That'll
That
force
will do it.
Fitch out of the angle, but running, gunning through the smoke. He finds it with a Tech 9. All right, yeah, that will do it.
Yeah, and that's one of the key protagonists of Na'Vi as well. The fact that he's actually getting all the kills in all these clutch situations as well. He's a player that's going above and beyond right now. I'm not sure if he is top fragging, but it wouldn't surprise me. Simple, certainly not. Can he make up for it here and makes a clean round? Damage through the doors, has to go for the reload now. But he does hold them off. That was enough presence to send them packing.
Buster waiting with the Deagle. Wouldn't be unsurprising at this point for Na'Vi to start putting aggression on a position such as tunnels. The problem is that there's been a little bit of action there, so a bit of a gamble for them to do so, but they have to try and pull back the deficit somehow. They're confident in the fact that they're going against pistols, so it won't be too much of a desperate movement. But you can understand the passiveness from Avangar as a result of that. Edward's still going to post up, AUG in hand, waiting off angle with Simple behind the box. Linear perspective. The problem is they have to give up mid, so Simple can't stare toward the tunnels. He doesn't have that lineup. Instead, he catches Crizin walking out their window. That'll confirm they're coming at door. That's where Edward steps up, and brilliantly so. 3 kills for him. Good setup, good awareness, because typically box is so powerful for the tunnels, but he couldn't focus on that alone.
He needs to die now. At this point, they're trying not to kill him. That might sound weird, but Simple was hoping he could like wait until the time expires. We've touched on it a few times. If you die after that timer and no bomb's gone down, you get no cash for the next round. And cash is everything in Counter-Strike. Every weapon you see has to be purchased. There's an economy system here. If you win rounds, you get gifted extra money. If you lose rounds, you don't get so much. But the more you lose, the more cash you get. And that builds up to a maximum loss bonus. Once you win a round, that is reset, and it's all about getting those weapons up. And this is what we call an eco. As James, oh my goodness, he's done it again. That scout, he keeps buying it, a solo scout, and it's working out. You can see why he does it. Like most teams would go nowhere near that sort of purchase, but you can see why he's giving it a go.
Incendiary down to the doors.
Trying to get rid of the weapon Simple.
Yeah, exactly. Limit it, get it further away from where the terrorists might arrive, and then add that to the arsenal because they don't have much to work with. Evidence by the HUD on the left side, just the scout for James. Not the first round they've gone for that. They did it in actually round 2 of this half. 3 AUGs, though, gives quite a punch for Zeus. Surprisingly, only gets 1 on that. Kicker able to slide back out with the Deagle, damage done, and they'll back away on it.
This is now a really nice position for Avangar. You've got the defense questioning where you're heading towards. You've shown so much presence towards long. The great thing about Dust2 is you can get to the other bomb site relatively quickly. It's a long rotation, but you can be on the other side of the map when they've got to go and hold long at this point. But Edward has dropped a really nice smoke there. That's going to buy some time. Has he got anything else left there? He's got an Incendiary and an HE and crawl for backup. That smoke is everything. No doubt in my mind Na'Vi win this round at this point.
Good lineup. Fantastic from Simple. Pretty easy. It seems incredible to fire through smoke and find targets, but it's obvious at that point, as you say, exactly what they're up to. It's a very linear hallway. He just gets the job done. Pretty clinical. And it's Na'Vi closing in on this. Again, we talked about it. Dust2, they went down a map on their choice. Dust2 hasn't been favorable to them in the past, and now they find themselves suddenly in the advantage to force out map number 3, and in doing so, potentially still surviving onto tomorrow. It's Mirage.
Mirage next, which has always been a bit of a up and down map for Na'Vi as of late. We'll see whether they can get there first. Still need 2 more rounds, and this is a decent buy for Avangar. This is their pick as well. Haven't looked as strong as you'd think, but it's the individual performances from Na'Vi that have got them to this great position now. Nice boost, good to chuck it in once a half. It means you can look over the smokes that can land towards that CD spawn position. A lot of teams will check it these days, but every now and then they won't, and you can get like a 3-4 man spray down. They'll have no idea. As we see, like the Silence M4 now, pretty much extinct since the AUGs come into the gameplay, right? We don't really see that weapon at all anymore.
Yeah, absolutely true. I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought the AUG would be the substitute for the A4, and the A1S would come back in because you could alternate between the two and have the silencer for, obviously, the lack of tracers and smokes.
After the major, maybe a price reduction of the Silence M4, just to kind of give it that edge. You've got 3 tiers, essentially. Maybe increase
Maybe just give it 30 bullets like it needs.
Yeah, that's true as well. But like you could have that at the bottom, and then the AUG gets $100 extra added onto it. I don't know. A conversation for another day, but here we go. Zeus then holding up towards long. Great smoke, and he followed it up. Doesn't need to commit to this angle. He is alone. As he holds towards the car, they now know exactly where he is, but he's got backup as he hits the nice shot. That AUG delivers high accuracy, and he holds towards the car now. Doesn't need to overcommit to this, but vulnerable to grenades.
Very vulnerable. Can't see through the windows anymore. There used to be I wouldn't call it a glitch, but a graphic advantage with the flames in that position, but you were actually still able to be sprayed and spotted if you were carefully at it. Not the same anymore, but you can certainly be sprayed through that car.
Yep.
Exactly like that. Jane with the headshot on the AWP, spectacular accuracy to find his target, but Simple stunningly through the smoke will put them on map point. It's Na'Vi 15-8. Just one more round, and they will force out Mirage. And it's, again, elimination match. It'll be one map between the two to determine who's gone and who moves on to tomorrow.
Absolutely true. Na'Vi look almost certain now to take us to Mirage. As things wind down in the conference, all half an hour left here. But a whole map to come here, and the Ice Challenge.
That's the most one-sided the odds have been yet.
Where was that? 13, yes, indeed. Yeah, Na'Vi almost guaranteed victory at this point. We'll see if that rings true. Prism, bit of a Hail Mary play, rushing in towards B. Edward gets the double kill. It seems that B bomb site has been tidied up. There hasn't been a massive issue there this time. And Flamey's hot on their heels. It looks like the job is done. And we will see Na'Vi take us to a third map. That's going to be Mirage. I had my doubts, but it seems that they have been working on the theory side of the map. Yes, the T side still had its holes to plug, but the individual performances in those dire situations, 4-on-2, Flamey, Electronic, finding form, and you can see Kane, a sigh of relief there. They definitely had some heated moments in that particular map, and they're just making up now, Matt. You know what it's like.
I think I'm going to come up with a theory here, and I think if you've got a map where you've got a player like Flamey, who's always been a great Dust2 player, you've got Electronic, who with a bit of freedom can make plays happen. If they're both comfortable on Dust2, even if Simple's not, you're starting to get the team involved. That's something they could work on. That's something they can build on. That's a foundation that could actually strengthen their pool.
Yeah.
Just on the back that they've got more than just Simple as a specialist on that map, it's a promising feature.
It's an exciting prospect going forward. We have one more map of action to bring you this evening. That will be Mirage. Still the favorites going into it. Na'Vi looking to bounce back. They're starting to show individual form now. Can they put it all together and have a nice team effort to get a solid finish in that third map? You'll have to find out after this break.